that I would say this is the kind of response which should be there to every act of terrorism and not hyping it. It's a very studied and mature response that the Home Minister went. He said first that I will explore all the possibilities. He went to the hospital, he went to the spot, and he had a meeting today. And nobody jumped to various conclusions. Government or the police did not say it belongs to this terror organization or that terror organization. That once they had registered the case, I agree with you, they should have come and announced that yes, NIA has taken up the case. We are accepting it as a case. It's a gold mine in the sense that they, I thank that SHO, that Thanedar in Jammu and Kashmir, who through the CCTV was able to see he was putting those posters of JEM, and the whole information has come out of that ad. And now the links are being explored. See how the links have gone from Haryana, J&K to UP now. So more and more things are going to come out. Now, this is certainly a very critical matter that the doctors in a group have got radicalized and come together. And this kind of 3 tons is mind-boggling of ammonium nitrate. You remember in Oklahoma bombing, yes, McVeigh, he had collected only 2 tons for that kind of an impact. So you know what could have happened because this module was ready. Anything could have really happened. See, these are traitors not only to their nation, but to also their own profession. That's very, very true. But if you see, Neelu, I mean, even 9/11 attack was conducted by whom? Those pilots. They were educated. They are aeronautical engineers, the group of people. So radicalization at a higher level, at an educated level is taking place. It's all over the world. If you look at the module, Neelu, the whole thing was ready. Walkie-talkie was there, timers were there, explosive was there, a little bit of oil, a little bit of RDX, and the whole thing was ready. Now, we don't know what detonator has been used in this and whatever that goes. But it's quite possible that if we wouldn't have declared and this would have happened, then you can imagine what mayhem it would have resulted in. The idea of this module, obviously, the way they were wrecking the RSS headquarters and things like that it was to create a kind of a terror in the capital at all the public places. So at least that has been averted, of course, at the cost of very innocent.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Everyone is perplexed about the nature of the Red Fort blast in New Delhi last evening because what's happening is that people are speculating. There is no official confirmation whether it's a terror plot or it's being done by the indigenous people. Now, if you talk about the latest developments, what we do know as of now is that the Ministry of Home Affairs has handed over the probe to the National Investigating Agency, and this after Home Minister Amit Shah took a meeting this morning with the security officials. The Prime Minister has said that the conspirators will not be spared. There are several speculations done across the TV channels, but what has perplexed everyone and what is being discussed a lot on the social media as well is the white collar terror network, which involved professional doctors, which were trying to do this act in the garb of research work and the academic work. This is what has perplexed everyone. What we are told, and again through the sources, no official confirmation yet, that this white-collar terror network was coordinating through encrypted channels and charitable fronts to move the funds, arms, and explosives. So is the Red Fort blast a mystery? We'll try and understand this. Joining me this evening is a very special guest, former IPS officer, former intelligence officer, and someone who's been the director of the entire security network as well. Yashovardhan Azad joins us. Thank you so much, Mr. Azad, for joining. And my first question to you is, Is this really a mystery? The way this Red Fort blast has taken place, it's like almost 24 hours and more than 24 hours, and we still do not know whether it is a terror plot or it is being done by the indigenous groups.
No, no, Neelu, I wouldn't say that it's a mystery. I think it has been declared a terror attack because it has been registered under Section 16 and 18 of the UAPA. And Section 16 is punishment for a terrorist act, and Section 18 is conspiracy when a terrorist conspiracy is being hatched. The second thing is that the NIA has been put into the job. So it's an acceptance of the fact by the government.
But this crucial information, all this is coming through the sources. No official press conference, no official declaration by any police or security official.
No, there are two things about that. I agree that nobody has come and said, but the case has been registered under terrorism, which is an official recognition. That it has not been announced. That, of course, you can say that the police commissioner at least should have come up and said we have registered a case under 16 and 18. The NIA has moved in now, and therefore the investigation is in safe hands.
Interrupt you here. I'll just interrupt you here. Why we are looking at the sources also with a little pinch of salt, because we should not forget what happened during Operation Sindoor, and the entire mainstream media went about saying that the Karachi has been blasted, Rawalpindi has been captured. So, how much to believe the sources? Because all the news platforms are putting out stories through sources, which is why I said that it remains a mystery whether it's a terror plot or not. Yes, Mr.
No,
Azad.
that is that it's a terror plot is clearly, visible. That has been done. The only
Okay, so
thing is, yes,
you are saying that it's clearly a terror activity which has been
absolutely, it's a terrorist act. It has been registered under sections of terrorism, and the Home Minister has said that those involved in conspiracy will be brought to book. That's what the Prime Minister said, and now the Home Minister has also made that statement. The question is that you must give credit to the security forces for catching this huge amount of explosives. I mean, ammonium nitrate, there are 3 tons, and then also the ricin case of Gujarat. So it has averted something spectacular. But what has happened, of course, is serious, and it's a module which the security agencies are trying to connect, if it's connected with the other one, and most likely it may well be. But as of now, I would say, in reaction to what you put out, that I would say this is the kind of response which should be there to every act of terrorism and not hyping it. It's a very studied and mature response that the Home Minister went. He said first that I will explore all the possibilities. He went to the hospital, he went to the spot, and he had a meeting today. And nobody jumped to various conclusions. Government or the police did not say it belongs to this terror organization or that terror organization. The other thing, Neelu, is that I admire also respect the opposition, which has not made any statements against the
Yes.
government, which is a very good sign that we should all unite against terror. And third, mark this one, that while the terrorist organizations also used to jump announcing that we have done it, this time they have not done it because they are scared that there'll be a tremendous reprisal against them. So I would say that I would like this kind of a response for every act of terrorism from both sides, the government and also the police agencies, except that once they had registered the case, I agree with you, they should have come and announced that yes, NIA has taken up the case. We are accepting it as a case of terrorism.
Yeah. Uh, no, I mean, the due credit to the security agencies should be given, but there are lots of questions as well. And I'm going to come to those serious questions. 22nd of April, the Pahalgam attack happens. 7 months later, we have another terror plot, which you say is officially a terror plot now, and it looks like a terror attack. If that has taken place, will we not see this as a security lapse? Will we not see this as an intelligence failure? And how do you fix the accountability? The accountability still has not been fixed in the Pahalgam case. So that's the most serious question. And what was claimed by Prime Minister and the home minister as well during Pahalgam attack, that we've destroyed and demolished all the terror camps. And here, 7 months down the line, you have a terror attack in the heart of Delhi.
No, see, Neelu, there are two things. The Pulwama, what happened in Pahalgam was different. This was about the Pakistani terrorists who entered inside. And that's why all that retaliatory action took place, Operation Sindoor, whatever. Now, this is something which is being explored. The two modules have been, it may well be that the handlers are outside. It may well be that the cryptocurrency has been used for payments and all that. But right now, to prematurely jump at a conclusion and say ki, this organized group has done it will not be fair. I can also say this much, that this is a car a bomb which has exploded, and JEM did this kind of a car bomb explosion even in JNK Assembly in 2001 October. But to jump to conclusions would not be fair. It could be that it leads to JEM or Al Ansaur or Ghazwa, whatever that is. It could be. But the question is, right now, the security agencies have come across a gold mine, in the sense that they, I thank that SHO, that Thanedar in Jammu and Kashmir, who through the CCTV was able to see he was putting those posters of JEM, and the whole information has come out of that act. And now the links are being explored. See how the links have gone from Haryana, JNK to UP now. So more and more things are going to come out. And the investigation is on right track, because, we know the people who were in the car. Now, the only thing the forensics is doing is to see whether that was one man, Dr. Umar or whatever his name is, or there were three people. Because if there are three people, then it won't be a car bomb attack. Why should they need three people? There could be only one.
Whatever is coming out through the sources, again, they say that there are 5 doctors: Muzammil Ganai, Adil Ahmed Rathar, Shahin Saeed, Umar Muhammad, Ahmed Saeed. So 5 doctors are there. Now, what I want to ask you is that maybe the handlers belong to some other country. We do not know yet. But do these people look like indigenous groups who were involved? And they were radicalized. That's the biggest question. That were they being radicalized at the universities and the colleges where they were teaching?
Very good question. So this throws up two issues. One is whether it's a homegrown, and the other is the extent of radicalization. Now, this is certainly a very critical matter, that the doctors in a group have got radicalized and come together. And this kind of 3 tons is mind-boggling of ammonium nitrate. You remember in Oklahoma bombing,
Yes.
McVeigh, he had collected only 2 tons for that kind of an impact. So what could have happened, because this module was ready. Anything could have really happened. So I would say that in this particular case, what it reveals is that the radicalization attempts have been going on. It's not that the educated youth were not attempted to be radicalized. You remember the ISIS was always exploring through the internet new catches, and new catches who were engineers, who were able to come and sacrifice for the cause of Islam. And there were people from Kerala who were educated who went there, and some of them died, some of them ran away, and their interrogation revealed that how they were recruited through the internet. So in
So, but
this particular,
So, Azad, isn't it mind-boggling that these are doctors who are saving the lives of people? They've got their doctors' aprons hung in their rooms, and then you suddenly find that they also have AK-47 rifles. Now, that is something which is beyond imagination. And how does one explain that to the society, which is always looking for safety? How does one explain it?
see, these are traitors not only to their nation, but to also their own profession. That's very, very true. But if you see, Neelu, I mean, even 9/11 attack was conducted by whom? Those pilots. They were educated. They are aeronautical engineers, the group of people. So radicalization at a higher level, at an educated level, is taking place. It's all over the world. We have to see that our intelligence agencies and the de-radicalization efforts are stepped up in a manner that not only in JNK but throughout the country. There are too many sleeper cells, whether it's the IPFK, whether it's the JEM, whether it's the Lashkar-e, there's so many of them. The idea is to see that we bring out each one of them and sort of then throw them to the wolves or bring them to justice. So that is our, of course, a very, very important milestone in this journey, that we have a group of doctors now, and right there in Faridabad, in what is that called, Al Falah, or some hospital like that.
Yes.
Yes, so I agree with you that it's a very, very important message which has been given, a very dangerous kind of a thing, which has to be looked into very seriously.
But I mean, since like one or two terror modules are being discussed, that one they try to unearth in JNK, then they picked on somebody in Faridabad, then in Saharanpur as well. Now, do you feel and do you get a sense of the fact that the security agencies were trying to unearth something big, and then this eventuality has taken place?
See, there are two things. Some people are saying that whether this module should have been announced, because if they would have kept it secret, then getting the name, they could have picked up this guy. I don't think so. The announcement was correct, that because after all, if you look at the module, Neelu, the whole thing was ready. Walkie-talkie was there, timers were there, explosive was there, a little bit of oil, a little bit of RDX, and the whole thing was ready. Now we don't know what detonator has been used in this and whatever that goes, but it's quite possible that if we wouldn't have declared and this would have happened, then you can imagine what mayhem it would have resulted in. And besides, the links are also getting clear now because of this guy. So I would say that all in all, while this has been a tremendous catch, this hit is the worst, one of the worst we have taken in Delhi, because 15 years there was nothing of this kind, and it has done the damage. 13 people have been killed, 24 have been injured. The location was very highly sensitive. Uh, and the only hope is that with this linking and further in the investigation, we'll be able to find out much more. Because, mind you, the idea of this module, obviously, the way they were wrecking the RSS headquarters and things like that, that it was to create a kind of a terror in the capital at all the public places. So at least that has been averted, of course, at the cost of very innocent lives
But then
in this.
again, I'll come back to the same question of accountability and the security failure as well, because the spot at which this terror incident happened is a high-profile zone. It's like Red Fort is the heart of Delhi where this incident took place, and if the security agencies couldn't preempt or there was no intelligence, how does one explain that? And will those questions not be asked then?
No questions will be asked, but for 15 years, Delhi was safe because 99% of the attempts were thwarted. Now, one attempt slipped through. For that, you can't condemn this security forces. Yes, they should have prevented it also. I agree. But to say that they have failed, that would not be fair. I mean, because see, terrorist organizations are 100% involved in this job. Now, security agencies may be successful 90% of the time. There are many other things which are averted, mishaps, and they have averted many more. But yes, one slipped through. So I think we should give them a little way.
When 26/11 happened, we had our own prime minister who was then the Gujarat chief minister, and he came and stood outside the Taj hotel, and then he got into the blame game. So again, those kind of things again, and the questions. Of course, the opposition has been very mature; they've not raised those questions. But then social media has already started discussing all that. That how will you set in the accountability, especially after you've done an Operation Sindoor? And of course, in fact, on the social media last evening, when I was checking on the Twitter, there were calls on Operation Sindoor 2.0. Now, how do you think will the government really answer? Though the Prime Minister said that the conspirators will not be spared, so are we going to see another Operation Sindoor on this, or will there be another tactics for this?
Well, it's too early to say anything right now because for everything, we should not jump and blame Pakistan. There is a lot happening inside our country. These doctors are all ours. I mean, these doctors have been de
No, but
radicalized.
don't we do that?
Now,
Don't we do
listen,
that often? That the first fingers are pointed at Pakistan.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. That thank God they did not jump to anything. They did not jump to countries. They did not jump to any terror organization. That's a very mature response. For whatever reason, I'm not going to go into the reasons why they didn't do it, but I'm happy. I'm happy that it was a mature response.
Lot of experts I have spoken to, I mean, I'm talking about the geopolitical experts, they said that now India knows very well that Donald Trump is with Pakistan, and it's not going to be very easy to do another Operation Sindoor, because we all know that Donald Trump is supporting Pakistan big time.
Nilu, on that count, to khair, I'm not a geopolitical expert. I mean, but I can say this much with great conviction that Pakistan is no competition to us. We can attack Pakistan anytime. And if we don't do it, it's a kind of a restraint which is rightly used by our governments or our leaders. I respect that. And we should not jump to any, because Pakistan is no competitions to us for anything. And for every terrorist act, we need not go and jump into Pakistan. We can take care of it here, and we can bring all those perpetrators to book.
No, but how will they be brought to book? Of course, a case on UAPA has been registered under the Explosives Act as well. How else would the message be, the stern message will be sent out by the government?
No. Why are we interested in the message first? Let's catch those people. No, there are
Hmm.
people, there are doctors involved, there are suppliers involved, there are sleeper cells involved, there are couriers involved. So there are so many people. Once we catch them, they're all Indians. If there is a somebody from Afghan or Iran or English, then we'll see what happens. But so far, we should tighten the net around these people, get them all, finally get everything, and then see later. That's the sign of a mature and a strong country.
Right. But the reporters who went to the spot last evening, and I think there was a report in Tribune also, it said that, there were no shrapnels, that there was no crater. So how can it be called a terror act? And the usage of not of RDX, but ammonium nitrate in huge quantity. So can a terror act take place? And can you really call it a terror act without all this? I mean, that is for the clarification of the viewers. I wanted you to explain that.
I'll tell you. The question is, there has been a blast, right? There has been a blast in suspicious circumstances that a car was parked, and this man belongs to where? Pulwama or some place like that. There are also links that we are getting from. So our first reaction definitely is when 13 people get killed and 24 get injured, and this kind of a blast at 7 o'clock, there is circumstantial evidence in a sensitive area outside metro station. We believe it's a case of a UAPA, and that's why we registered a case. And as we investigate the case, we'll get to know. Otherwise, this kind of a blast coming from a battery or from a cylinder blast cannot create this kind of a damage. So if it has created, it has the potential that it was done deliberately or even accidentally, but it was being carried. So it constitutes a kind of a terrorist act, and that's why it has been registered at UAPA.
I would want to go back to the narrative where it was said that, when we revoke Article 370, Kashmir will become normal. But then again, we see instances where apparently, or could be perhaps that these sleeper cells now are becoming active. Their network becomes, it looks wider. It's connected to various cities now. I don't know what all the security agencies will unearth. But what would you really say? Does it point out to some kind of a failure as well somewhere? I
No,
mean, with credit to whatever security agencies are doing, but then again, those hard questions.
no, Nilu. I tell you, Kashmir is a work in process. And mind you, I'd like to be quoted also in this. Kashmir cannot be solved, it can be managed. And towards this management, we have another 30 to 40 years to go. During that time, these things will happen. Terrorist incidents will happen. We have to fight it on a daily basis and not blame others, but shore up our security defenses, our ability our de-radicalization attempts, our investigative ability, and you will see this when we become domestically really strong, these acts will go. But for that, it will take time. For that, whether is this government, whether is that government, whether is the muscular approach, whether is a mediation approach, no approach is going to solve the problem. It is only a, attaching a band-aid. So this will go on. We have to keep fighting it. We have to improve ourselves. That is the only way to go about it. No politics. And I do think that post 370, it doesn't deter the terrorists from taking anything. No, it doesn't make a difference. I also feel that the democracy, the elected CM should get back the power so that he should head the security system over there, because people then relate to him. You will get more intelligence from the ground. But we cannot blame any government, because Kashmir stands on its own. These problems will persist for at least a few decades till they go down.
So, regarding this Red Fort blast, you wouldn't say that it's a riddle, it's a work in progress. Maybe many more revelations will happen in the coming days.
Yes, I think we've got good leads. The reaction of the police was good, quite in time. The intelligence agencies did brilliantly, finding out exactly the connections. The raids took place at the right time. Excellent modules have come up. And I think we are going to hear a lot of things in the next 2-3 days.
You said that we'll hear a lot of things in the next few days, and I'm again going to go back to what was happening during Operation Sindoor. There were regular press conferences done by the armed forces where people got to know what was officially happening. I mean, put that aside, what the mainstream channels were putting out on the basis of the sources. But then again, it seems that the Home Ministry or the security forces have unlearned what they did during the Operation Sindoor. No press conferences, no, not even an official bite from anybody, except for one bite which came from the Home Minister last evening. I think he gave it to the ANI. Apart from that, there has been no briefing. Only the information is being fed through the sources. Now, is that correct?
Neelu, let me tell you, nowhere in the world a detailed information about investigation of terrorism is given out, except the broad contours. And in that respect, one line could be said, of course, that case has been registered under UAPA Act and the NIA is investigating the case, instead of just throwing these information to the channel. That I agree with you. Somebody responsible should have come out and said that. Regarding the details of the investigation, yes, the only sources come out because the police is not obliged and should not say details of the investigation, because it hampers the investigation. But of course, something which is out and which can be given, that's a seizure at a particular place or somebody, then of course, even that, they try to not announce immediately so that the other collaborators do not get that information and run away. So we have dealt this. Of course, I dealt it at a smaller level. But this is, countrywide. And that time, there were no, journalists like you who would get to know on their fingertips anything which is happening more than the police. So one has to be careful.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Azad, for joining on HW. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nilu.